So I did a thing, y'all. I went on a blind date recently. That's right, a blind date. Like, this is something that I've always seen on TV. Like, I didn't think this would ever be my life or I would be able to experience something like that. But I'm kind of glad I did. And before I get into all of that, I just want to talk about the dating experience in 2025 and the last couple of years. And if you're someone who has been dating, you just know that the dating pool has pee in it. If I'm being honest with you, I'm sure we all have a horror story or bad experience when it comes to dating. Although I've had some bad experiences when it comes to dating, I've also had good experiences as well. But things just, for whatever reason, did not work out with that person. So there are great guys out there, but you just have to, unfortunately, weed out a bunch of mess before you get to that one good person. So I'm still on the journey of finding my person, Mr. Right, my purpose partner, my lover, my friend. But in due time, I know that God will open that door for me. But for now, I'm back on the dating scene. And I kind of took a break the last 2 years because I've just been disappointed with what I'm seeing, and I've just been tired of men, to be honest with you. But I think I'm ready. So I know why you all are here, and I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. So I just want to share my story about my blind date experience. So earlier this year, I want to say, I had a friend share an Instagram page with me of this matchmaker. So usually she'll post her clients on her page. She'll give you the stats about that person and the type of woman it is that they're looking for. So on one of her posts, I was interested in one of her clients that she posted, and I feel that, it aligned with what I'm looking for and the type of person that man was looking for. I felt that I was that woman. So I filled out a form on her page, and I also messaged her and asked her how tall that man was. And she replied to me, and I think she said that he was about 5'7", I want to say, or 5'8". He was about my height. And that's kind of a no for me because I like to dress up and wear heels, as some of you may know. So I don't want a man who is shorter than me. I would prefer a man who is at least my height with heels. So, and y'all, that is growth right there. I just want to point that out. So after that message, I just forgot about that, went about my life. And back in May, I got a text from her, and she said, "Hey, this is so-and-so. I think I found a match for you." And I'm like, wow, okay, so this stuff really works. And I've never worked with a matchmaker before. And I'm not her client, but it was her client that was interested in my profile that I completed back in, I want to say, December or January. So her client was interested and they liked what they saw on my profile. So I got on a quick call with her, and she kind of gave me the specs about this guy, and she also sent me a link of his profile. But one thing about it, I can't see the man's face, okay, because I'm not a paying client. So I'm just in her database. So she told me that he was 5'10", which was okay with me. And then I could have sworn I heard her say the guy was athletic built and he had glasses. All right. So his profession is a doctor. So he is a doctor. We love that. I love that for me. So I agreed to going on the date because we also have similar backgrounds. Like, his dad is a pastor and my family, we're all in ministry. So I'm like, why not? I think this would be perfect. And I also work in healthcare, for those who don't know. So I'm like, yeah, why not? I think, we have a lot in common. So I think this would be a pretty good match. So the matchmaker set up the date. She sent me the information on the restaurant, the time. So the day of the date, she gives me his number and she gives him my number so we can communicate about the date. So the day of the date, he calls me and he actually sends me a car service. So he sends me funds for a car service to get to the date, which I thought was thoughtful. And he also made sure that the restaurant was close to me so that I'm not driving too far or I'm not traveling too far. So I thought that was thoughtful of him and very kind of him to do that, because I've been on dates before where the guy just chooses a location that's convenient for him or closer to his part of town. So I could respect that he did that. So I get to the date and I get there before him, like 5 minutes before him, and I talked to a friend on the phone because I was super nervous.
Can you guys imagine not meeting someone you don't know how they look like? You've never spoken to them before on the phone, not even text. Like, this is the very first time you're meeting somebody you don't even know.
So I called her to kind of calm my nerves, and I waited for him to pull up. So I was sitting by the window of the restaurant, and I looked outside and I see a guy coming, and I'm like, I know this is not the guy, because I thought I heard the matchmaker say that this guy was athletic built, 5'10", with glasses. So that's what I'm looking for. And sure enough, when the guy walks in, he checks in at the hosting station and they brought him to the table. Let's just say what I saw was not what I thought the matchmaker described the man to be. So, the date went on. I thought the date went well. Again, we have a lot in common. And I thought he had a sense of humor. Conversation was flowing. There weren't any awkward moments, no silent moments. I thought it went really well. So after the date, he got me the car service again to go back home. And I want to say it was Monday, okay? So the date was on a Saturday. So Monday, I heard back from the matchmaker because she told me prior to that she would check in with both of us, and she kind of explained how the matchmaking service works. So Monday, she contacted me and she wanted my feedback. So I told her, I thought he's a great guy. He's funny. We have a lot in common. My only issue was that he was not my physical type. So he's a little bigger than what I expected him to be. Although he was not my physical type, I wanted to date differently this time around, because usually when I date my type, it hasn't gotten me anywhere. So I wanted to step outside of the box, because this guy, he is a good guy on paper. He's nice, he's respectful, he has all the things, he wants a family, he has his career, he's doing well for himself, he's a family man, he goes to church, he has a relationship with Christ. Like, these are all the things that I'm looking for. Not all of the things, but most of the things that I'm looking for in a man. So I was willing to go on another date with him to see how things go. So I heard back from the matchmaker, I want to say that Wednesday, so 2 days later, and she provided me with his feedback. So his feedback was he found me attractive, he thought I had a great personality, he thought I had a great sense of humor, and he also mentioned that we do have a lot in common. So his only issue was the fact that I told him I never had a boyfriend before. So some of y'all probably thinking like, girl, what? Are you serious? Like, I get that all the time, but I've dated guys in the past, but I've never called anyone my boyfriend. Like, I've never had a guy that I brought home to my parents or anything like that. And that's a different topic for a different day. I can get into that deeper, but yeah, I've never had a boyfriend. So when he asked me when my last relationship was, that was my answer. So he was kind of taken back by that. And, within reason, because I could understand. I would probably wonder why too if a grown man is telling me that he's never had a girlfriend before. So I could understand. But I mean, that was conversation for another date. So she said that he was open to another date. However, y'all, tell me why I have not heard back from the the matchmaker or him. So I was talking to my friend the other day and she brought it up and she said, she was also thinking, and she's like, I think because I told the matchmaker that I was willing to go on one date with him to kind of see where it goes. I guess, he doesn't want to waste his time and she probably don't want to waste her time too. So I understand. So it is what it is. He's not my type, but I was willing to give it another chance. But I get it. It's whatever. No love lost. It is what it is. So I know my king will find me one day soon. And yeah, in due time, I'm going to continue to try to put myself out there and prepare myself to be the best wife that I know I'm called to be. So yeah, this is my blind date story, So although I did not hear back from the blind date, I'm just glad that I had that experience. And when I tell people, they're like, what? They're kind of amazed by it. So, and yeah, that's something for the books. I can say that I've been on a blind date, which I think is pretty cool because I only saw this stuff on TV, to be honest with you. So, and I also haven't been dating the last 2 years. So yeah, I'm glad that I went on this date because it's kind of an icebreaker and it's kind of empowering, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think I'm ready to put myself out there again officially and see where it goes, see where God leads me. So hopefully it's in the arms of my Prince Charming, my king, my husband. So yeah, stay tuned. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Bye.